As the sun stretches its golden fingers across the sky, the hours seem to drag on, and a sense of isolation creeps in, casting a shadow over the once shared journey of growth. The person you thought was a companion has become a distant figure, creating a chasm instead of a bridge towards mutual development. Each passing day, their expectations of you balloon into an absurdity that defies reason. It's been so long since they crossed the line of reasonableness that you can't pinpoint when the shift occurred. In the enchanting phase of love, everything feels absolutely amazing. Your partner is incredibly attentive, exuding charisma and charm that sweeps you off your feet. They shower you with adoration and compliments, making you feel like the most special person in the world. Their genuine interest in every detail about you is undeniably flattering. While their rapid intensity might initially catch you off guard, they effortlessly justify it with compliments, ensuring that your interest in them remains unwavering. Once they draw you into their world, the excitement of the chase fades away. They grow weary, and a sense of monotony sets in. This is when the devaluing dance begins, marked by their critical gaze. It dawns on you that they gathered every detail about you not out of genuine interest, but as ammunition for later use. Despite your earnest efforts to please them or win back their favor, it's a futile endeavor. Meeting the impossibly high standards of a narcissist is an unattainable feat. They can't even meet these standards themselves. Your self-worth takes a beating as you find yourself trapped in a cycle of diminishing value. Their criticisms, often trivial, intensify the downward spiral. Even if you address the last issue they pinpointed, they swiftly pivot to a new critique, leaving you in a perpetual game of catch-up. Their surprise at your demoralized state is baffling to them, as they see their brutal honesty as a virtue rather than a source of your devaluation. As you observe the transition from the initial love-bombing phase to the reality of your relationship, you'll likely discover that the charming facade your partner once presented hides a decidedly negative core. Accountability is not their forte. Blame is consistently shifted to external factors, whether it's their life history, past relationships, current job, or even their living situation. Despite being adults who made choices, they evade responsibility. The qualities that initially drew you in begin to fade away because they were never genuine. They were just tools to captivate you. Instead, the true nature of the narcissist surfaces a distant, self-absorbed individual who lacks genuine care or interest in you. Your role becomes reduced to a means of supplying their needs, whether it be through sex, money, or positive attention. Despite your efforts to please them, their negativity persists and they remain unyielding. Attempting to meet their demands becomes a futile endeavor as they prioritize their own desires. At this juncture, many narcissists seek alternative sources of supply, cultivating connections with others. You might sense their involvement with other people, but their adept manipulation and deceitful tactics allow them to deny such suspicions convincingly. Entering the phase of rejection is like stepping onto a tumultuous, emotional roller coaster. The signs become increasingly apparent as they escalate their criticisms, arguments, and negative behavior, orchestrating a scenario where you end up severing ties with them. It's a strategic move for them, a prelude to effortlessly transitioning into a new connection, restarting the whole cycle anew, leaving you behind as a mere relic of the past. Once the separation occurs, they vanish into the shadows, leaving no trace until the moment they find themselves in need of you again. This typically happens when their latest connection begins to see through their facade, questioning their true nature, and contemplating ending the relationship. Unless they harbor feelings of resentment and decide to haunt or punish you, your attempts to seek a rational explanation or closure during the breakup will fall on deaf ears. Engaging with them at this point unveils their true self unyielding, frigid, utterly devoid of empathy, and filled with disdain for you. It becomes painfully clear that their professed love was nothing more than a facade, regardless of the sincere efforts and affection you invested in them. At its core, this harrowing ordeal is a profound assault on your very soul, leaving behind a trail of shattered self-esteem and confidence, eroding the trust you once placed in the gender that captured your romantic interest. The haunting fear lingers, painting every romantic overture with suspicion, wondering if it's just another narcissist gearing up to unleash the same destructive cycle. Unless we unravel the intricate threads that drew us to an abuser and interrupt this relentless cycle, often through the healing process of therapy, we remain perilously susceptible to repeating the pattern with yet another narcissistic force. In the initial stages, there's an intoxicating allure. Even the early whispers of devaluation don't ring alarm bells, as every relationship undergoes a natural evolution from the euphoric honeymoon phase to a more grounded reality. Yet, this is where the narrative diverges from the norm. Reflecting on the events of the past 15 years reveals a startling truth. Your body becomes a silent witness, signaling distress long before your conscious mind catches on. It acts as a premonitory messenger, attempting to warn you of the impending storm. However, this crucial insight eludes you, leaving you to navigate a labyrinth of unexplained ailments, futilely seeking a diagnosis. Instead, what you often hear is the dismissive label of hypochondriac, a word wielded by your narcissistic counterpart. One day, the mask slips off the face you thought you knew so well, revealing a cruel and sadistic nature that terrifies and bewilders you. The instinct to escape grips you with overwhelming power, a frantic urgency. Something is undeniably wrong with this person. Then come the excuses stress, a crazy ex causing chaos, a family filled with psychos, and the belief that everyone is out to get them, leading to a mistaken outburst directed at you. The apologies follow, sincere yet leaving you crushed. Despite the hurt, you attempt to forgive, suppress the urge to flee. Grit your teeth and convince yourself that this turbulent phase will soon pass. But it doesn't. Instead, it worsens, gradually intensifying each day until you wake up one morning, questioning how you reached this point. The passage of time blurs into weeks, months, and eventually years since it all began. The person in the mirror is unrecognizable, and you find yourself asking, what happened to me? The struggle to hold on to the familiar, to maintain the status quo, has led to a profound disconnection with the person you once were. In the depths of this harrowing ordeal, I find myself entangled with a person who wears the mask of humanity, but revels in the sinister delight of inflicting torment upon me. His malevolence is unabashed, displayed in the twisted satisfaction that dances across his face as he witnesses my suffering. How did I arrive at this nightmarish junction, and why do the shackles of my existence refuse to loosen? The yearning to escape claws at the edges of my consciousness, yet escape remains elusive. The memories, etched like scars, resurface, vivid and haunting. The futile attempts to break free echo in my mind, each effort met with a steep toll. The image of my car, a casualty of his violent outburst, lingers a mechanical casualty of my aspirations for independence. Promises of repair were hollow echoes, unfulfilled like every vow that fell from his deceitful lips. My means of escape annihilated, leaving me confined within the crumbling walls of what was once called home. His rages, a storm of destruction, leave behind shattered remnants of a life I can scarcely recognize. The table, a silent witness to the chaos, hides its fractures from plain view. That night, when truth collided with his web of lies, he unleashed a tempest, reducing everything in his path to ruins. The scars on that table mirror my own, concealed from the unseeing eyes of the world. The gaping hole behind the bedroom door, a testament to the violence that erupted in moments of confrontation, stands as a visible scar on the walls of my captivity. An attempt to escape through the window became a futile struggle, my efforts thwarted by a force stronger and more malevolent. The door flung open, the doorknob piercing the wall, and the lesson imparted. Running is not an option, not from him. His possessiveness extends beyond me, ensnaring anyone who attempts to offer solace or friendship. Loneliness, a constant companion, as friendships are obliterated under the weight of his malevolence. The threats linger in the air, a reminder that forming connections is a dangerous gamble. The world outside, a place where he prowls, ready to dismantle any semblance of happiness that dare approach. Escape attempts are etched in my flesh, a torn knee, a nearly broken foot, physical testimonies to the futility of resistance. The world turns a blind eye, indifferent to the silent cries for help. Yet, in the recesses of my being, a glimmer of resilience persists. The question echoes in the chambers of my mind, haven't I learned yet? And then came her. You've exhausted every effort to push him toward her with all your might, hoping he latches on. And he's gone now with her. She may not be the first, but he's made it crystal clear that he'll never release his grip on you. He possesses you, body and soul. The silence in his absence is almost as overwhelming as the cacophony of screams within your mind. He'll be back soon, as he always is, ready to inflict more pain, to strike at the fragments of yourself that remain, or to unleash his fury and assault you once more. You can't endure that again. You can't continue like this. This isn't love. This isn't life. This isn't how it's supposed to be. It's time to go, and quickly. This is your chance now or never, while you still muster the courage and strength to escape. You leap into a cab, carrying only a small suitcase, heading towards the airport, praying that your courage and luck endure until you're in the air. Nervously, you glance out of the back window as the confines of your home shrink into the distance. Then the realization hits you he might be close. You cower out of sight, shutting your eyes tight to block the image of him catching up once more, and you start to pray. Please hurry, go faster.